Hello, everybody, and very welcome to our broadcast, the Brain Function series from the Togetherness Media, Los Angeles. I'm Mohammad Nami, medical cognitive neuroscientist. And again, I'm so pleased and fascinated for having this opportunity catching up with you for some quick notes on the mysterious world of brain and cognitive science, what we collectively refer to as neuroscience. It's always great to discuss about the most wonderful creature in the whole universe, if you would agree, the brain. And we earlier discussed about some pathologies and some dysregulation disorders in the whole nervous system when things go awry. And to continue that discussion here, in the fourth episode of the Brain Function series, we'll be talking about the interface, an intricate interface of the nervous system from one hand and the immune system in the brain and nervous system. That these two, when we're talking about the crosstalk between the immunity and the brain, we discuss these kind of things under a general term, neuroimmunology. So here's the focus. Maybe you've heard about the term neuroimmunology, or maybe some of you are not familiar with that. But all of us are definitely familiar with some unfortunately tragic and devastating neurological disorders that they are rooting from the dysregulation of the immune system. For example, multiple sclerosis or autoimmune neuropathies like Guillain-Barré or some other disorders that we know that there is a sort of dysregulated immune interactions with the nervous system, which causes the diseases. In many instances, we're discussing, in the field of clinical neuroscience, we're discussing about neuroimmunogenetics disorders. And, whatever the cause is, the thing is that we are facing neuroinflammation in the brain. And we are, talking about the whole general term of neuroinfectious diseases. When the microbes or the viruses or parasites or whatever, which is called a pathogen, is invading the brain and hampers the brain functionality and the general state of brain health. So one of the things that we want a little bit, dig into that here is the impact of the novel virus that we're all facing with, the hazard of that worldwide. And during the pandemic, everyone talks about this COVID brain. This means that how this COVID virus, the coronavirus, can impact the brain function. How can it make some disparities in the different functional systems in the brain as a human brain in a healthier state would do as compared to the COVID brain. These are the things that we got to be discussing here. Fortunately, the science in the front line is just making great leaps in terms of developing some neuromodulation techniques and technologies to alter the brain function for better. And of course, hopefully we have novel drug development for just to counteract the inflammation which happens in the brain because of the parasites, viri, or the bacteria. And apart from prescribing antiviral medications or antibiotics, we know that COVID is a whole different story. So we have the cognitive fog, or the COVID fog, which refers to the fact that people who are afflicted with COVID, they unfortunately tend to develop some symptoms like confusion, like delirium, and other types of altered mental function that we normally call them encephalopathy in neuroscience. And these have occurred during the hospitalization of the COVID-19 respiratory problems. And some studies have found that such patients needed longer hospitalization and had higher mortality rates, and often they couldn't manage daily activities right after hospitalization. So we are talking about the neural long haulers of COVID-19. So COVID brain is something really big, and we got to be pretty much cautious about the long-term consequences of this infection, either in the people who have already recovered from the disease, or the people who are already struggling with the disease, the COVID-19, or those who have been hospitalized and they have had some issues with this disease, and unfortunately they were seized because of stroke, because of vascular changes in the brain, or because of general encephalopathy symptoms. But research on long-standing brain fog is just in the beginning, and we're in the prime of understanding how this virus is impacting the brain at very acute stage and long run, or in a chronic state of disease and predicaments that we might be expecting in long term. For instance, a study in Europe in August 2020 has studied like 120 patients who had been hospitalized because of COVID, and they have found that 34% of these cases had memory loss, or 27% of those cases developed issues with concentration problems even months later. And to know about this, I'm going to draw your attention to one of the recent publications that we have contributed to the body of evidence regarding the interrelation between psychobehavioral and neurological symptoms with COVID-19 virus, and how we're going to hope for remedies, and how we're going to just counteract the challenges in front. So the thing is, we need to know about the importance of the long consequences of COVID-19 virus in the brain and the role of immune system. So targeting the immune factors which are involved in our recovery from the virus, no matter what, we're taking we're afflicted with a mild disease or a severe disease condition necessitating the hospitalization or whatever. But something is for certain, that in long run, we might be expecting many different neurological psychiatric symptoms in ourselves, in our loved ones, and everyone around us. So to know about this, I would recommend we look at those papers. And also, we shall be quite aware of the healthy lifestyle, how we're going to just stay fit in terms of our physical activity, our diet habits. If we are catching up a very good sleep, and we follow the sleep habits, which are proper sleep habits like sleep hygiene recommendations, we are staying away, and we're refraining from smoking and also alcohol abuse or substances or things of that kind. And also just develop this capacity in managing our stress and generalized anxiety because of COVID. We see that many people are locked down still, different corners of the world, and they have this COVID-related stress disorder, which is already a different, a distinct and a separate entity in our classification for mental disorders. So we need to unite against this important long-term consequences of COVID. First, to be aware of that, then to understand how we can go hand in hand and make like an interdisciplinary approach in neuroscience and cognitive studies and medicine in general to help people stay away and clear from the long-term consequences of the disease. Some approaches, apart from medical therapy, from pharmacological treatments, could be using the technologies. If we need to do quantitative EEG, brain mapping, or PET scan, or fMRI, to know about the different dimensions of the nature of that specific neurological disorder. This is important. And also to go for brain screening, as we discussed about it before, to do the checkup in the earlier stage of any suspicious predicament that we might be having about our cognition or behavior, or behavioral symptoms, also the emotion dysregulation, as well as motor and sensory issues. So we hope that by raising the awareness about the COVID brain and the long-term sequelae of COVID on our nervous system, we would gain a better strength in combating this nasty virus as we're moving around the world in our future endeavors, either from research or clinical practice. I hope you stay well. Please stay safe, and we're going to catch up next time with another term to discuss about the wonders of brain functions and how things are interrelated. Thank you very much, and be well.